trust you. I'll handle the real enemy.
Such arrogance, thinking you can hide from your creator.
You think I'm hiding, dude?
And I am this world's creator.
I think technically that's Solus. Well, you've seen better days.
Every pointed spire and warding enchantment in this city is a child's unwitting imitation of the empire I built. I would have restored the glory. Your lives are too brief to remember.
I saw the Menace Crossing and Weishaupt, and everywhere else you've left your mark. I didn't see any glory. All I saw was a tyrant destroying everything he touches.
You mistake discipline for cruelty, a failing among those who lack a master's gentle guidance. We only destroyed because you resisted.
Yeah.
In the new empire, every child would have blossomed under my protection. And Gillenane, my brilliant sister, would have forged the blight into a tool of beauty.
Sure.
But she is dead.
Because giant flesh tentacles are the pinnacle of
We
beauty.
have is this. Because of you.
You know it? Well, technically the Canis, but I told him to do it. Alright, show me a good time.
This entire world is my domain.
Is it? Where'd you go? Oh, hey, dude. Oh, hey, dude. What is going on? Holy shit. You're... Ow. Ow. Stop that. Stop that. Why did I think I could block that? Nope. You are fast, aren't you? I can't hit you all the time, then I'll just put a dot on you.
Nothing you do matters.
I don't think so, actually. I've taken you down a third already. Or a quarter, I think is more accurate. About 2/5. Ow, again. If I weaken you, you can't hurt me very much. Just gonna block this. Keep the dots on him.
While my dragon thrall lives, I am invulnerable. Yet still you fight.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
That was a terrible use of an ultimate, but look at you. Ah. Emmerich, some help. Refit it. I still have my ace in the hole with the rune. Prove to me I need to use it. almost gotcha. Surely this is phase 1. He's not dead yet. I saw that. He still had some health left. You're the Dread Wolf, dude, not the Dead Wolf.
The Dread Wolf cannot save you. He cannot even save himself. Now you understand that none may stand against me. Those who try stand alone.
Got 2 other people with me, actually.
I am the Lord of the day and the night. Yield to me and I will show you mercy.
Nah.
Look at you. Your failures. You failed to save the wardens at Weishaupt. You fled in terror at Arlathan.
And then we killed Gillenane.
You have nothing. No army, no dragon, no thralls.
I've got a team and
Your
that's all I
health
need.
bar moves.
I have bound the
That's all I need.
dragons. I have slain titans and broken the will of gods.
He's immune to all status, though, including...
Broken me.
Nah.
You will kneel.
Damn it.
Now, you did as well as anyone could have, but you cannot deny the truth.
Do what's best, Nev. Don't worry about me.
Let them go.
I gave you this power, girl.
This is my city.
You tell them.
Impossible.
Implausible. This thing's easy once I beat this guy.
Oh, mortal Elganon. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Just you and me, dude.
You will not bow. You will burn.
Okay, just you, me, and my skeleton, and my dragon kind friend. Take this. I meant to do this and then dodge. Dodge? Okay. Holy shit. Nope. Fine. Everything is okay. Are you still immune to status? Okay, no. Fine. Nope. Nope. Can't work on me.
Consequence has doomed every pathetic creature in existence.
Sucks to be you. I don't know what that word means. Gosh, if you would. Gosh. Thus, now's not the time to be disobedient.
I will see the last glimmer of defiance from this wretched world. And from the ashes shall rise a blighted empire, bound to me alone.
I don't think so. You got anything else up your sleeve? Ow. Ow again. I will admit, you're not alone. The camera has chosen you as its ally. But that will not stop me.
There is no light save my glory, no refuge save my shadow, no desire save my perfected intention.
Sure. Your fireballs mean nothing, dude.
I am creator and destroyer. I am will made manifest.
Kinda sucks you don't do any damage when you do hit me. Ow. I'm not even that tanky and you barely do any damage to me, dude. If I promise to be afraid, will you take this seriously? Ow. Probably did more damage to me than he did the whole fight. What happened there? Sent him into a black hole?
It is done.
Oh hey, you're okay
The
now.
world owes you a debt. Both for defeating Elganon
Yeah, I know what you were trying to do.
and for bringing down the Veil. I am sorry for this final betrayal,
No, you're not.
but I will do what I can to minimize the damage. When you see the old world restored,
This is like the 4th time you've betrayed me. If you were sorry, you wouldn't even done it the first time.
I do not wish to fight against you.
That I believe. You would know better. Against my better judgment, I'm going to give you one final opportunity.
I don't want to fight you either.
I wouldn't want to fight me.
But I don't want to see the world go through even more pain on top of what Elganon has done. Do you?
This world is broken, Rook, because of my mistakes.
You're trapped in regret.
This is why you had to use me to escape the prison. It's made from regrets, and you're trapped in yours.
You cannot understand the...
Destroying everything won't erase your mistakes. You have a chance right now to save the world. Bind yourself to the veil and stop it from falling.
I cannot. To stop now would dishonor those I have wronged to come this far.
Even
Okay,
if
Griffith.
those you've wronged asked you to stop.
Was that the right voice?
Inquisitor,
You were my friend. We saved the world together once. Can't we save it one more time?
Inquisitor, I am sorry. But I cannot. Long before we met, I failed my oldest friend. She died for that failure. If I leave the veil in place, I am destroying the world she wanted. And I will have... She will have died for nothing.
What does she think about that?
And whose fault is that, Dread Wolf?
Morrigan.
One appellation among many I wear. I have been advisor to Orlais, Witch of the Wilds, daughter of Flemeth, and once, long ago, an old friend.
Mythal lives on in her, and in this.
Mythal.
I pulled you from the Fade you loved and sent you into war. I used your wisdom as a weapon, and it broke you.
The things that I have done.
Are not for you alone to bear, my friend. The many wrongs we did together. I release you from my service.
You are free to find a better way.
My life force now sustains the veil. With every breath I take, I will protect the innocent from my past failures. The Titan's dreams are mad from their imprisonment. I cannot kill the Blight, but I can help to soothe its anger. I will go and seek atonement. Thanks to you, I now can see the way.
You doing okay in there? It's a pretty nice arm. You look pretty good for someone who was blighted not too long ago. We have one. And Dab's okay, let's go. I picked the right choice right there.
With Elgar'nan and Gillenane dead, and Solus off to fix his mistakes and right an ancient wrong, it looked like one of the biggest stories this world had ever seen was finally drawing to a close.
The story of the Veilguard, a team of heroes who stood strong against evil, no matter the cost.
Whatever it takes.
But whenever one story ends, another begins.
Like the story of the Grey Wardens, clearing the remains of the Blight so that the flowers can grow again.
Nice.
Or the story of Arkandorian Parvus, fighting to bring Minrathous out from under Venatori rule.
Or the story of a caretaker, standing watch for new heroes.
For the Antivan Crows, it would be a story of liberation from invaders and usurpers alike, as Treviso threw off its shackles.
Among the Veil Jumpers, the fall of the last elven gods meant Arlathan was reborn.
At their heart, stories are about change.
A man exploring worlds beyond mortal existence.
A woman protecting Docktown at all costs against an unknown future.
An assassin and a demon setting aside the past for the sake of family.
A student of history, helping the elves regain what they lost.
A dragon hunter forging a new life for themselves.
Or the Griffins, finding a new home in Arlathan, protecting a world that once thought them lost for good.
And we will always be grateful to those whose stories brought us where we are today. And those whose stories will live on with us forever.
You know what? I didn't dislike the game as much as the internet led me to believe. But I do still think, like, I'm not gonna lie, that ending was definitely pretty good. It was a very good ending. It almost made me think for a second that this wasn't the weakest of the 4 Dragon Age games, honestly. Which, I mean, that, to be fair, the Dragon Age game, it's a high bar, so one of them has to be the worst. But it wasn't a bad game. It had a very good first 10 hours and final 5 hours. And everything between that was there. I feel like I can definitely tell this game had like 10 years of rewrites. A lot of it feels like a first draft though. My thoughts are very unrefined right now, honestly. I don't think I'm gonna word my opinions very well. Are they saying anything here, or is it just more credits? Okay, yeah. This game was, I give it a solid, I don't know if ranking it out of 10 is fair. I would rate it the worst of all the Dragon Age games. The lowest. I don't want to say worst, because that implies I think it's a bad game. There's not like a verbal tier below above average that isn't average. But like if there was, that's what it would be. I guess 6 out of 10 is what that would be. So that doesn't feel very fair. I mean, I liked the combat whenever it was a little difficult. Halfway through, a little bit through the game, like close to the end, honestly, but later than I should have. I did raise the difficulty and it felt better. Like right before we fought Anaris, I raised the difficulty up a tier, and that made the game feel a lot nicer. But I feel like the difficulty itself was a step down in terms of fun, not just how hard it is. Because like the other Dragon Age games, they had different styles between Veilguard and the other Dragon Age games. But like the other Dragon Age games, there were definitely a lot of points where the game would just kick my ass for like an hour straight. But I beat every single boss close to on my first try on this one. Every fight. I don't think I died. I died like maybe 3 times, and that was in the early game. I mean, there's a lot of criticism I have of this game. Like I said, it has a very nice first 10 hours and last 5 hours. And I feel like it just kind of drags its feet in between the rest of it. I've got like 50 hours in this game. And a lot of it, I made the complaint a whole lot. Like with the companion quests, they establish what the problem's going to be at the very start of it, you know? Like, take Harding, for example. They established, like, hey, we need to do something about the Titan stuff, you know? Like, what really, like, what the catalyst for my thoughts were, is why I bring up Harding. At one point, you go do her quest, and during the quest, they go like, oh, something big is happening underground. They want me down there as a trap or whatever. But we're gonna go down there, we're gonna kick their ass, whatever it is, better run. And then that was the end of the quest. You couldn't continue it. But it felt like you should have, you know? And that happened so many times, I felt like. You could have cut, like, every single companion quest in half, I think, and nothing would be lost. I'm sounding very negative. I did enjoy the game. The combat felt very simple. Like, it wasn't as in-depth as I feel it should have for how long the game was. Because I spent probably 80% of the game just using the laser attack. Because nothing because everything would just stand there and take it. One boss, I forgot what his name was, Avenchi or whatever, I just pressed the laser button and he went down without fighting back at all. Elgernon, he was the only boss. He was the first boss since, like, outside of the dragons that I didn't have to just, like, stand on the other side of the map and laser to death, because he just kept zooming around and, like, in my face. I had to actually properly fight him. That would have been great if I had to do that the whole game. I would have enjoyed the combat a lot more. Because, like, the early game is very nice, because you're too weak to just do that, you know? But then I got double the mana, so I just got to laser infinitely. I did like Davrin whenever he wasn't just Asan's babysitter. Like, he seemed like I like the Grey Wardens in general. But I feel like 90% of Davrin's character was just Asan. Even his end card in the thing was like, or the story of the Griffins. They didn't even mention him. That's kind of why I let Manfred die, because they were doing the same thing to him. It's like, oh, he cares so much about Manfred that he's losing his own character. So just let him die and let him become a lich like he wants to, even though that it probably goes against his character arc or whatever to, like, I guess validate his fear of death by letting him do something irreparable to himself in regards to it. But then I got to have a skeleton guy on my party, and that was awesome. I wish he stayed a skeleton guy and didn't have the human face anymore. I know it was an illusion, but I would have preferred if that felt like a permanent change, you know? I liked Lucanus and Nev. They were probably my favorite party members in this game. And Davrin, outside of the Asan complaint that I had. Nev, I really liked. She's probably, I think, the best written companion in the game, from what I saw. I think Nev is probably one of the only companions in the game that can stand on the same level as the other companions from Origins to Inquisition. Though I do think that Dragon Age 2 that's my favorite of the Dragon Age games. I think it had the best companions, because every single one of them felt pretty good. And it was nice to see Isabella again from Dragon Age 2. It would have been nice to see Hawk again, or at least have him referenced, because I guess technically, because he's able to be effectively killed off in Inquisition, they had to write around that. I don't know. I think my personal biggest complaint, or I guess criticism would be a better word. My biggest criticism of the game is probably the fact that its entire basis, or premise probably is a better word, is based on a 10-hour DLC of an entire other game, and if you didn't play it, you're missing a whole lot of context. Like, even if you played the original Inquisition, if you didn't play Trespasser, you're still gonna be in the dark for a lot of it. Because I feel like they over-explain a lot to you, in case you haven't played the other Dragon Age games, which is fine. It's the 4th game. It's the first one in 10 years. You gotta expect a lot of people playing this game have it as their first Dragon Age game. But I feel like they didn't explain the Sola stuff enough, considering how pivotal of a role he is, you know? Because it feels like he was supposed to be the main bad guy of the game. But then they set what I feel like should have been the final confrontation with him at the end of the game, at the very start of the game, in the tutorial. And I feel like that weakened the potential of the story a whole lot. Like, it should have been about Solus. Because, this may be a bit controversial, I feel like he kind of had a point. In Trespasser, he said a line about, like, waking up in a world where everyone felt like a tranquil. And could you imagine if you woke up in a world where everyone was lobotomized, that would be awful. You'd want to try to fix that. But we never addressed that at all, you know? Like, in the world that Solus lived in, if you exclude the tyranny of the two gods, was everyone like this super enlightened being that, like, makes us seem lobotomized in comparison? Because that's what tranquility is in this world. They lobotomize you, basically. And, like, that's hard to argue against, you know? But they never tried to, and I feel like they should have. Or just not had a line like that in the game. Because it just kind of feels like we made him deal with it, you know? It's like, oh, I'm gonna seek atonement for trying to unlobotomize everyone. Well, not unlobotomize, he's killing everyone, trying to start over in a new world like he used to. And that is pretty bad. But I feel like the game should have been about beating him philosophically, rather, which I guess they tried to do. But, well, no, they just kind of ignored his, it's like, he's gonna tear down the veil and kill everyone. We don't need to worry about why or anything. We're gonna pretend to worry about why. I don't know. I should have thought this through a bit more before saying this, before trying to list off my thoughts on the game. I should have written it down, because I've been thinking this for a while, but I never, like, truly meditated on it to think of how to word it. It just kind of sucks that Solus, in theory, would have been such a good villain, but they toss him to the side and put in place two identical super evil villains, which, to bring that up, every villain in the game outside of Solus, if you count him, is the same character. It feels like they're all just, oh, I'm the most, I guess Solario. He wasn't the same mustache-twirlingly evil person ever. But like Hezenkos and every other villain, I feel like if they were to literally tie a lady to train tracks, it wouldn't have been out of character, you know? Which, I'm not gonna say that's a bad villain, but when you have like 8 of them in the game, it gets a little old. And especially Elgernon and Gillinan, they could have been characters. They could have been. They almost were. But they weren't. And I said this about the side quests, the companion quests, about them dragging on too long. I wish we had like an intermediate villain, like one that you dealt with a bit more short term, instead of everything leading up to the gods, because I'm just constantly talking about how the gods are bad and you take them down, but then you're just never doing it for like 50 hours of the game. That felt a little... It would have been nice if you beat Gillinan way earlier. Like, if you beat Gillinan at Weisshaupt, I don't think that... It would have benefited the game story, I think. Maybe you beat Gillinan in that one quest where you fight the 2 dragons at once, because you shoot a crossbow into her. That kills most things. Like, full penetration. It went in one side and out of the other. That should have killed her. But she got better, and I feel like it hurt the game that she didn't die sooner. Because then you would have at least had Elgernon be motivated by trying to revenge her. I don't know, it just kind of felt like nothing super consequential happened for most of the game. Like, you're building up your allies and everything, but I honestly don't even feel like you do that very well. Like, you level them up, you level up their reputation or whatever till 3 stars, but it doesn't feel like you, like, gained their respect as a collective, you know? Like, you become homies with the two, like, the usually two, like, highest authorities. But it doesn't, like, you do some favors for them and they appreciate it. But outside of the Grey Wardens, as you're dealing with the whole blight thing, which that kind of reminds me, a lot of the factions don't feel very different. Like, the Shadow Dragons and the Antivan Crows feel exactly the same. They're like a whole group of Batmen. Which especially hurts the Antivan Crows, because I remember especially in Origins he had a former Antivan Crow and he wanted to leave because they were awful. But then you see them in Veilguard and they're just Batman. It's like, oh, we're gonna lurk in the shadows and kill all the bad guys or whatever. But didn't they have slaves? I don't think they mentioned slaves at all in this game. But, like, I think the Antivans having slaves was a major part of them, you know? I think Zephyrin was kind of a slave, right? Because, like, he tried to leave and they kill him, so it's like, you do what you want for us or we kill you. I feel like they pacified the Crows a whole lot. But as I was saying about the original point of not really feeling like you recruit the guys enough, I do think that, since I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Like I said, I'm not very good at this. Like the Lords of Fortune, for example, you don't meet any of them outside of Isabella and Cutter, and you kill Cutter. And I don't really think of Isabella as a Lord of Fortune because I already knew her from another game where that wasn't the case. And they don't ever... Like, if they were like, oh, this is Isabella, she's from the other game, you know this. Like, if they pulled out the big cameo thing like they did with Hawk, it's like, oh, after everything there, she, like, did a whole new thing and she established this. And, like, this is her way of, like, becoming a better person. Like, I felt like if there was more continuity, is what I'm saying. That would have made it feel a bit better, but I don't really know what the Lords of Fortune do. Like, are they mercenaries? They kind of portray themselves as good pirates. But if you're a good pirate, you're not a pirate, you know? Like, a pirate is a robber and a killer, but they don't seem to do that. They they only steal from people who consent to it, which is very bizarre. Which I guess doesn't make them any different from mercenaries, but they don't ever call themselves mercenaries. So I guess they're a bit more active. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the new factions that they've added in Veilguard, being like the Lords of Fortune and the Veil Jumpers and the Morn Watch, I forgot them until just now. The Morn Watch not so much, but I feel like they were a bit redundant. Like, you didn't need to have them at all, I think. There wasn't much point to it, I guess, outside of having every single party member be a different faction. But they don't ever mess around with that much, outside of Emmerich, who's just Mr. Necromancy. Everything he does is related to necromancy. I'm being very negative in this. I shouldn't be. It's not a bad game, but it could have been a lot better. I did enjoy it. I didn't ever dread playing this game, which was a funny choice of word there. But I had a lot more fun playing the other games, especially Origins and 2 in my opinion. Those were the two better ones. Like I said, 2's my favorite still. I liked Dragon Age 2 a lot more. If I were to rank the games, I would have Dragon Age 2, and then a blank spot, and then the rest of the games, you know? Which is funny, because from what I understand, they were, Dragon Age 2 and Veilguard are very, like, polar opposite games, from a development perspective. Like, they made Dragon Age 2 in less than a year, didn't they? But they've been working on Veilguard for years. Like, maybe not since Trespasser, probably, but they've probably been working on it for years. And I feel like a lot of the game feels like a first draft, and a lot of the game feels like someone, this is pure speculation, but it kind of feels like they hired a second writer to rewrite some parts of the game. Because, like, you cannot tell me that the guys who wrote Nev's quest, for example, which is just, let's go find the bad lady for 10 quests of doing nothing, and then we finally find her. And then we get her, and then we don't even kill her, we have other people kill her. You cannot tell me the people that wrote that quest line was the same writers that made the first 10 hours and the last 5 hours of the main story. I don't believe it. Because those were actually good. I know I already said this, but like every single companion quest feels like 10 quests of nothing, and then the final quest you actually finally go beat the main villain of the boss of the quest line. And I feel like Tosh didn't even need a final villain. Like, you had the whole plotline with them being non-binary, and that should have been it, honestly. There was no need for the Dragon King. Even in universe, they didn't care about the Dragon King. He didn't get a boss fight. You fought the dragon, and then when you beat the dragon, you just kill him in a cutscene. You could have cut the Dragon King and just had the quest line about Tosh being non-binary, and that would have been perfectly fine. We have every other companion to have a final boss with. You don't need every single one of them to have one, you know? Every single time I try to praise this game, I end up having a mini rant about something that I don't like about it. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to try not to immediately come up with a rant against it. The style of combat, like the genre action RPG, I think you'd call it, I like it more than I liked Dragon Age 1 through Inquisition. I don't know what you'd call it. Like, I guess real-time strategy with pausing. Surely there's some, like, name for the genre. But real-time strategy with pausing is probably the closest I can think of. I liked that. I liked action RPG more than that. And I'm trying hard not to say but. I liked the genre of combat, the genre of game more. Another bit of criticism I have of the game, though, I briefly mentioned it without realizing, but the continuity just hardly exists. Like, you have 3 options at the beginning of the game about what you did in the other games, and mostly Inquisition. And that's it. I really liked Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, where, like, when I was, like, using Dragon Age Keep to put my choices in to Inquisition, it took me like an hour, because I had to, because they took into account every choice with almost every quest, not every quest line, but like almost every choice you make in the main story that has any kind of difference, they take that into account. And even if they don't reference it at all, or even if they don't reference it much into an Inquisition, like if you have Alistair being king in Origins, he shows up in one cutscene in both games. Well, one cutscene each in both games. And that was it, but that was still nice to see him. To like know that my choices in Origins still mattered. But you don't get to see much of that at all. Like, it'd be nice if, like, you could have Varric, I guess not really, but it'd be nice if you could have Varric mention his adventures with Hawk and the Inquisitor. You could also have Harding do this. She did this a little bit. But it'd be nice if you could have them mention some stuff in the past. Like, I get that it's very far into the future, so a lot of the choices just wouldn't matter much. But a lot of the appeal of Dragon Age is that it's like a long overarching thing. Like, you have one like world state, and that affects like stuff you do in Origins, like affects Inquisition, you know? That felt very nice, and it sucked that it wasn't in Veilguard almost at all. I don't even remember what the choices were at the start of Veilguard. The Veilguard remains vigilant? I guess that's DLC bait. Though with the reception that this game took, I doubt that there's gonna be DLC. If there is, I might play it. Who knows? It's been over a year since the game came out and nothing happened, and nothing's been said, so probably not. Well, that was Dragon Age Veilguard. Not just Dragon Age Veilguard, but that was every Dragon Age game, back to back. I've been playing these games for a year and a half. I enjoyed them. Overall, the whole Dragon Age series, playing through it, was a net positive on my life, and I hope that watching me play through them was enjoyable for anyone who decided to watch this entire series, or even just Veilguard. If you decided to only watch my playthrough of Veilguard for some reason, I hope it was enjoyable. I hope to see you again. I've never been good at outros. I'll see you in the next game if I see you.